Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crate Expectations. I don't know what I got myself into by doing an episode with Sarah and Kate both, but I'm glad, in theory, to have both of you here. How are you both today?
Doing good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good, good. I was a little bit sad to see that the little man wasn't going to be rejoining us today
No,
because now I'm outnumbered.
yeah, outnumbered. I don't know if he would be on your side.
Nah, definitely not.
Oh no, we have an understanding already. We're good.
Uh, feel bad. He's cranky.
It's all good. It's all good. No, he is awesome. So how? Gosh, we've got. It's been a while since Kate's been on with us, and I think this is the first time, Kate, you've been on while Sarah's on as well, which is also awesome. Well, awesome that you're here now with us. It's exciting. Eventually, we'll get the whole gang here, and we'll get Ando on as well.
So you finally have somebody on your side. Actually, I
Well,
don't know. Anto might not be.
we'll see. He said
Great.
in desperation. Uh, no, so gosh, there've been actually like a couple of weeks in a way of like kind of radio silence from CG. They've been a little bit quiet lately. They released the raid, and then they're like, okay, we realize there's some issues. They fixed some of the issues, and now mostly radio silence until today, announcing the kit of a thing that doesn't affect the raid. How do you guys? Which is fine. They've got a lot of different things going on and stuff. Like, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on the raid, on just the stuff in general? There's like a lot of stuff coming up. Like the raid is here, but there's also stuff we got to be paying attention to for the future.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I will say though, they needed to release this kit and shit. They needed to get this rolling because we're like 4 or 5 weeks away from unlocking Fury, which means Leviathan is potentially 5, 6 weeks away, and we don't have those ships yet.
It's
This,
true.
this is just stressing me out, like talking about timelines of it.
No, I mean it kind of is a little bit because there's so much we have to adapt to. We've got all the raid teams that we've got to work on. Whatever level you're at, for the most part. I mean, if my account at 11.4 million doesn't have all the teams that I need to be able to be where I kind of want to be for the raid, I guarantee that most people aren't where they're kind of like would like to be at the end.
Mm.
So you have to be working on raid stuff. And then on top of that, yeah, like the ships, the Leviathan is gonna be here pretty soon. Did you guys save crystals for it? Are you gonna be able to do the chase?
That's the first thing I thought of when I saw this post because obviously I'm spending crystals now that Conquest is around. So I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
where are my crystal allocations going to go? Am I going to just do like I've been doing the six refreshes, like the 50s and the 100s for Conquest. And I'm like, all right,
Oh,
do I need to cut back and do just the 50 to save on crystals moving forward? So that was my first thought when I saw the post. I was like, oh, what to do? Because I saw in the post it said something about there is going to be the chase was this week.
Mhm.
yeah.
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 Well, last time it was pretty player friendly. They gave us the like a full week where most chases are a little shorter, and they gave us a better drop rate than usual.
Yeah, and I still almost didn't get it. I had to go into like I want to say I had to go one day into the 400s to get it. Like, because
Oh,
I don't remember what I did, but it took me till the very last second to get it.
The TIE Defender was nice though, man. I've used the heck out of that on both of my accounts actually.
so I was seeing that some people were speculating that the TIE Defender chase was kind of like a test run for these chases in terms of drop rate and how long it was.
Makes
Maybe.
sense.
I mean, I think for CG, I think that they don't that, like everything's a test for them. Honestly,
Mm.
like even when they're like, all right, this is first. Well, because honestly, I think they do learn. We all say like they don't learn, but I think that there's just too much to do for all this stuff. Like some of the things you're like, okay, you did this again. This is a mistake. You know, like you keep breaking things. But I also have to think that there are. It's not just a. It's not just that. It's like everything's new, and they're like, well, we've done chases in the past, but like, how much do they want to make this accessible? Like, you have to think. So like Cal Kestis is going to be coming out soon, and they're not going to just release it so only like 200 people can unlock him.
Right.
Probably, maybe they will, but it seems like a bad idea. But people are going to be able to get Cal Kestis if they have a bunch of crystals saved up, and if they have a bunch of crystals saved up, then what better way to get those crystals to go away than to make like kind of an affordable galactic chase, and people are like, oh, that's too good of a deal to ignore. And then when Cal comes around, they're like, oh, now I have to spend dollars because all my crystals are gone.
Yes, that's one way to look at it.
Yeah. I was like saving my crystals for Cal, and now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to blow them on these chases.
See, that's exactly it though. that's like that's the same for my Professor X account though. Like I've been saving all these crystals and for the intent of getting Leviathan unlocked, but it's like I can't have both. I had to make a choice, kind of, and you know, like I don't blame you for kind of feeling like, oh, now why don't I work on the Leviathan? It looks like you have enough crystals. Maybe you can get away with both, but I don't know.
There's
Well,
never enough crystals.
This is the thing is I theoretically would have enough crystals to do the chases, but you need like 24,000 to go to 7-star for the Leviathan.
Oh yeah, to get to 7-star,
Right?
yeah, you do need all those.
Well, we also don't even know what the requirements for it is going to be, right?
Right.
Right, just that we have two ships that we're gonna have to use. So like the Fury Interceptor, which is quote unquote free from Conquest,
Mm-hmm.
and then also the these next two ships. So the TIE Dagger, which I don't know. I was a little. What do you guys think of the TIE Dagger, just in general? Like it's not the Sith Empire aesthetic that I thought we were. I thought they were gonna stay in that theme, frankly, and clearly, they're not doing that.
No, I think they're just pulling whatever Sith ship they can to make a fleet.
Which, I mean, Red Trooper is fine. Honestly, I like. He's actually a great character. We'll go into the character review. That's something that we'll talk about on Sarah's segment over on her channel. But like Red Trooper is not. I like him as a pilot actually because he's a very useful character, even if you don't have Supreme Leader Kylo.
Right.
Well, the big question that's going to come into play is like the ship is tagged as both Sith and First Order.
Mm-hmm.
And I know in the post they said, oh, like you're not going to want to use it essentially as a First Order ship, but like how many times in the past have we like been like, all right, well this actually works better here.
I know. CG like no, we didn't plan that. The community's like, tough, dude. Yeah. No, you're right. It's funny. I mean, they made a first. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Honestly, I'm glad that it is, though. In some ways, I haven't really looked into how good it is with First Order, so I'm not. Maybe it just won't be that good. But you have to think there's going to be a lot of accounts actually who can't get this Leviathan unlock for like a year or two. Like without, if you don't have Malgus already substantially, like have substantial progress toward him, you're just not gonna get him for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's like,
Theoretically.
what did we talk
Leviathan.
about? Like when they announced it, like it would take what 12 months for my one account just to unlock Malgus.
you
If I did all the
out,
proving
actually.
grounds.
You faked me out. Like, you weren't being dishonest. You were being accurate for your account, but I took that, and I was like, oh, I just was lazy and didn't do math. I was like, guys, it only takes 12 months to get it. And people are like, no, it's like 17 months. I was like, Kate.
I told you, when I said it, I prefaced it with, I get like usually the first crate in Conquest, and that's it.
No, you're totally right. I'm not saying that you actually misled me. I just let that information like more broadly apply than I should have, and yeah, it didn't really bite me that bad. But I think I do have at least one video or a podcast or something where someone had to correct me. I was like, oh.
Hey, you could just blame me. It's okay.
I just did.
I know.
No, I like to take ownership of my many blunders. You know, it's good. It's good for me, at least. So, but were you guys surprised that it was Tie Dagger? Like, what were you expecting from that?
I don't think I was really expecting anything.
Yeah. I don't know what I was expecting.
I don't know if I really expected there to be another ship released. I don't know. I can't say I'm surprised, like following the pattern of all these other ships they've been releasing lately.
When they released the Fury Interceptor, they said that there would be 2 more ships that that we would need, like in Galactic chases. Like they prepped me for that. I just thought that they would, and I'm not really even complaining. I was just kind of taken aback that we're just getting that. Like I thought that we were just getting Sith Empire theme, kind of. Like I figured, you know, like maybe Treya or Scion or Nihilus even might get a ship to go. You know, with them, maybe Malak would be flying a shuttle or something. Maybe we'd have Sith Empire trooper with some kind of fighter that we haven't seen. Because I don't really know that era super well anyways.
I thought if anything we'd get Revan. I completely forgot about that comment too about the being 2 more ships. But I would have thought Revan if anything.
Oh, well Revan's the pilot for the Leviathan, remember?
No.
Darth Revan.
Don't remember.
Oh, well, no, I was commanding you. He's the pilot for it. Remember.
Okay.
No. I think my favorite theory that I've said it every time here, but I really like the idea of having a dark Ebon Hawk.
Yeah.
But like that's always been.
That was kind of what I was thinking, but
that'd be fun.
I think that was the only thing that I thought maybe, and that even was only because our guild leader was like, Dark Side Ebon Hawk, repeatedly.
And you sound annoyed, but I just think it's funny, so.
I don't sound annoyed. Don't put that into his head. Then he's going to ask why I'm annoyed.
Why are you annoyed, Sarah? He actually asked me to ask you. No, I'm kidding. No, so all right. Let's switch gears a little bit. So, how are you guys doing in the raid?
I'm over this raid.
Yeah. It was nice like the first time, like that was cool, but now I think it stresses me out more than anything.
So, what about it is stressful? I'm not being unsympathetic.
The retry button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can easily sit there for an hour or 2 with one team and just be like, all right, I could do better. I could do better. It's
oh
like,
my lord.
I was doing my Java team today, and I don't know what it was. If it was just like bad RNG or I wasn't getting enough debuffs before Boba did his rocket or whatever. I just wasn't maxing my score. Like he kept getting to enrage before I would max. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I think I did the run over. I was doing it for at least 45 minutes. And I was like, this is the easiest team. Like, this is supposed to be the team that's the easy button. I'm not taking a shortcut. I'm using a full 5-person
you were?
team. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, the 4-man team is the thing that, to me, is fool's gold. I haven't seen someone consistently do that.
No, and I was like, this was the first day that I was actually struggling with it, to the point that I was like, this is so annoying, and I have to post a score, because you have to post a score now. And before I would just tag with 0 and move along.
No, I mean that's a serious issue of like the retry button, and every guild is putting a certain level of pressure on its members. Like it's like, you know, my baby account is like, guys, we're only 10 million away from getting 90. You know, the 90 box, and otherwise it's a 25 box. Like it's like if there was an 80 box, if it was all pro rated or whatever, you know, like that would be one thing. It's like, hey, we're doing pretty good. Like rewards for 80 million, that's fine, but it's specific boxes and everyone's just got has to meet their goal, has to meet their quota, and I mean, there's no relaxing from it because, like Hot Ski Patrol, we haven't started the march toward it, but you know that eventually, like the bigger guilds who are getting the 265 already are gonna start pushing, like, hey guys, that 410 or that 416 box is it's not that far away. I mean, it
You
is.
act like that hasn't
You know.
even started yet. That's already a thing. That and the whole, you should really be making this minimum score. That adds some
Right.
stress to it too.
No,
That
I
minimum
mean,
score thing is all over.
And then there's no break with the raid too. It's like once it's done, it relaunches, and you're just like, okay, I gotta do this all over again. And I know people are like, oh, you got like what 3 days to do it, but
no, I mean that's the thing. I've been messing around trying to find time to work on the Tuscans and make a good guide for the Tuscans, because the thing for me is if people can do it consistently, like just go in and just have 2 tries maximum, then wonderful. Like that's what you want. You just want something consistent, right? Like that. Then it's like it's worth putting gear on characters and putting moving mods and everything, because then you don't have that stress of time, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Well, The
yeah.
thing, like, yeah, you have 3 days, like Kate was saying, but
Mm-hmm.
it literally feels like because it ends and then relaunches that you're just like, I just did this.
yeah.
I know
And
I've
like,
done it before where it's like I did my runs and then 2 hours later I just did my runs again.
Well,
yeah,
at least like with the other raids, it's like what a couple of them were simmable, and then the one that wasn't, like we were all still knocking it out as a guild in like less than a day.
Right. Right. Well, and that's the thing that I said at the very start of like, well, I think that the Rooney Raid seems pretty like pretty cool. I like a lot of the things they changed. I like that people aren't competing with their guildmates for good rewards. Like there's a lot of it. So if they're going to force a raid on us, I do like this way of doing it. I just don't
right,
necessarily love that they're forcing it and everyone has to do it. You know, like I was like, with what time do I have to do another raid?
right.
To
I
do a raid,
almost
like,
just wish there wasn't a retry button. I like the personal reward track and I like the guild one, but if I didn't have a retry button, I wouldn't be sitting there for an hour trying to get a score for one team.
well, and
Right.
that's a really tricky thing too, Kate, where you know you're in a really competitive guild and you're free to play as well, and you keeping up with those guys is always very, very, very impressive to me. As free to play, you know, specifically. Uh,
The raid's been a little rough. That's been a little
exactly.
rough.
Like you're in a position where I'm sure you're putting up pretty good numbers as a free to play, but
When I
it's like
have
why?
time, that's the issue. The time is the issue. If I have time to sit there, yeah, I could put up the
Right.
numbers.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, today I couldn't figure out why my Mandos weren't working. I was like getting to 1.4, 1.4, 1.4, and eventually I was like, I just gotta post this. I just can't spend half an hour, and then I figured out what the issue was. I had taken some mods off and like swapped them out, and they were just not as fast as they needed to be able to get the score that I wanted, and it's just like, man, you got to make sure your mods are in place. You gotta, it's a lot, and you know, it's like if one team starts to act up and you can't figure it out and troubleshoot it, it's just it's like, hey, extra half hour, here you go.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
think the thing that's killing me with the raid is just its teams, like other than Hut Cartel, it's teams I wasn't really focused on, like Tuscans. Like I had to bring up at least one of them. So, and then I still don't have Warrior at 7 star. I don't even, it's not even applicable for the raid yet.
Right, so you're doing the 300K with them if you can.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just, I'll get there one day, but there's also so many other different pieces of the game that I don't know if I'd necessarily consider them a higher priority, but there's just other stuff going on I got to focus on as well. Like, this is just not the only game mode.
You're right. Like there's the new Cal stuff coming out too. Do you guys both have a 7-star Cal?
Almost
Yeah.
45 shards away.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, he seems okay, but then, I mean, Seer is still not farmable, right?
Nope.
Other than crystals, you can
I
farm.
keep
just
checking,
farm.
thinking I missed a post, but no, she's not farmable.
I feel like
I wouldn't be surprised if you missed one.
I wouldn't be either.
But this cadence for Cal is kind of I have no idea what they're doing with it. It just seems.
Yeah.
I feel like they can't. It feels weird for them to delay his event and make it like as far out as, say, Grand Inquisitor was in terms of when Second Sister dropped.
Yeah.
Because they've already teased like Zepho's gonna come to TB and you're gonna be able to do this, and I'm like, why would you tease that months and months and months and months in advance? Like, just it makes me feel like it's gonna happen in a month.
So does Zepho currently exist in the game, or
No.
because they have the node and they say that if enough people,
That's
like
they have the mission on Braca, but Zepho doesn't exist yet.
Okay, so even if everyone miraculously were to beat that node, because right now you can try that node, it's just a very low success rate with the current
Yeah,
Cal.
I was gonna say, like, I think I was like looking around our last TV, and I don't even know if we had one win. We might have, but I don't know.
I've only heard of one person winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple people have beat it in my guild. Like, it's not totally unheard of. It's just, it's not really worth rushing those characters to get there, though.
Right.
Yeah, Seer seems okay. Yeah, she's gonna be worth getting 7-star anyways, or Relic 7 anyways, probably. But yeah, it's there's just a lot of things going on right now. There's a ton to juggle, trying to figure out and prioritize. And so, how many crystals do you have saved up right now, Kate?
I think like 400.
No.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, there's that.
Told you, I'm gonna be saving now. I gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
We all can't just go into the store and buy a vault of crystals when we feel like it.
Kate, you absolutely could.
I could, but I choose not to.
Well, here's the thing though. My alt has saved the crystals. Honestly, I have 10,000 crystals or more.
You
So
have like 8,900.
Shh. That's because you've been spending them on Conquest, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. No. But yeah, I'll No, it's tough to save. It really is, especially you have a lot of pressures that that alt doesn't really have. So no, it's a lot. It really is. Is there anything right now either of you are super excited about in the game? Or at least like moderately excited about? You guys are super fun here.
That's so bad. I was excited. Like, I really wanted to get Cal, and now I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get him because all my crystals are going to go to Leviathan.
Well, don't get
also,
Leviathan,
like, half
then.
the characters aren't even farmable.
Yeah,
So,
that too.
I'll be excited when I'm, like, towards the end of the farm, but, like, right now it's just out of reach still.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this might be a hot take. I don't know. I think that maybe Leviathan won't be as crazy important. I guess for like maybe for Kate's guild it really might be, but like for PvP stuff. But if you don't really care about PvP as much, like getting that arena, like Fleet Arena, my guess is that we'll have a way to beat Leviathan with the other two like Galactic Legend level fleets. My guess is that we'll be able to beat them with those two, and whereas, I mean, I would in general advise people to be working on Leviathan stuff. I would also say like, don't necessarily break the bank for it. Like, just try to get it when you can. But if you already have a good ship situation, then it might be worthwhile just kind of waiting on the Cal stuff, frankly. If you think you can get Cal instead, like, Cal is going to be restricted to get for a long time, and probably something like, you probably, a lot of people, if you save all your crystals and resources, you might be able to unlock him on the first try. I mean, I can't guarantee anything, of course, but
Well, like, what if the new ship comes to the game and it's basically like when Executor came to the game and just dominating?
That's
Like,
what I'm thinking.
bumped it up to a whole new level.
well, when Profundity came out, though, like, there are
Yeah,
people
but
in
Profundity leveled the playing grounds a little bit because they can counter each other.
right, and I mean, I guess I don't see much reason to think that Leviathan won't be on the same ish level as those, frankly.
See, I'm viewing Leviathan as, so like, if you have Negotiator and Malevolence, so to speak, as like their own playing field, and then you have Executor and Profundity, I'm viewing Leviathan up here, and then there's gonna eventually be another one that will
Gonna be a
counter
light
it.
side one.
Yeah.
That's where I'm thinking.
That very well may be the case. I'm not trying to say that for sure won't happen. It seems like maybe that will be the case, and like, ship arena payments are super important. So I would never suggest people just ignore that, because those crystals are crazy important. If it's just for GAC, and a lot of guilds aren't going to care that much, like, territory war wise, like, then maybe Leviathan steps down a little bit on your priority list if Leviathan isn't as crazy impactful.
I'm also curious if Leviathan's gonna make the dark side fleet combats in TB doable.
I would think so. 'Cause right now they're just not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can do some of them for sure, but
you get to a point where you can't.
Well, like, the Phase 2 one especially is pretty rough. The Phase 1, I've seen a few people do it consistently, consistently-ish. But yeah, like, it needs a little more consistency for sure. Now, I mean, there's some value to it, but at the same time, like, Phase 1 and Phase 2, sure, Phase 2 will impact some. That's not, I guess, I don't know, I don't think that the territory battle is as big of a priority, frankly, but I should
a lot of this
my...
is going to come down to where you're at in the game, like where your guild's at.
Yeah.
Because, like, my OG account, this ain't even on my radar. I don't really care. Like, I don't have Malgus.
Right.
Not going to have Malgus for a year, at least. And I think I even missed the proving grounds.
Oh, no.
I was on vacation.
For 12 months, you say?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll write that down to tell people. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's cut to the trigger photo, shall we?
Yeah.
This one just defies everything. I just like I don't know what to say about this.
Is this really Tilo?
I'm really not going to name drop this. I will say that this person is a Lakers fan, which, I mean,
you just did that.
It just seems a little bit like, well, I guess in that context, I'm not that surprised. But they let their guild carry them, and now they're ready to unlock Grand Inquisitor. So.
Oh my god. That's funny, because I'm sure he can use Reva in the event.
He or she. You never know.
I'm gonna laugh if he can't.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah.
I want to know what comp they're running until Grand Inquisitor is released. Like, in 5v5, like, what do you even run? Like, who do you exclude? I guess you just kick Second Sister to the curb, but
Second Sister, like, never get used for anything, even when it was just Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, poor old Second Sister. Which as a last thought, I have thought that it was super ironic that they're like, hey, let's change the character model to have her be more recognizable and distinguishable from Eighth Brother. And then You still can't tell them apart on the little thumbnail things because they're both still wearing their helmet. It's just, you know, it's just silly. But all right, we're gonna go over to Sarah's channel, guys. Like, subscribe, everything here, and then go to her channel in the video description. There's a link. There should be one that's appearing here, obscuring some part of this masterpiece of a trigger photo, and you can just click on that if you want. Go, you know, like, subscribe, all that stuff to Sarah's channel, and then also there's a link to Kate's Twitch. If she ever decides to stream again in her life, go follow her, and it'll be good. All right, so we'll see you over on Sarah's channel momentarily.